By 1900, 1 in 5 families had a decorated Christmas tree in their home. President Theodore Roosevelt feared depleting the national forests. Farmers planted evergreens as a cash crop. By 1909, nearly 4 million trees were harvested for Christmas. Magazines recommended simpler trees and suggested using only glittering cotton, angel hair, tinsel, pine cones, and icicles. This was called the white tree. At a 1908 Christmas gathering in Hartford, 5 women and a man pose in an interior beside a fireplace. 1 woman and the man are elderly. A candlestick, a vase of flowers, and 2 mugs or steins are on the mantel. A framed portrait is to the left. A lamp, probably a gas light, is on the wall. Postcards in the very early 1900s had natural themes and emphasized the outdoor. One of the first recordings of the German carol, or Silent Night, was made in 1902 on an Edison cylinder. It was performed by famed operatic singer Hans Hofmann. By 1910, many Americans decorated Christmas trees in public places to foster community spirit and family celebrations. On New Year's Eve, 1912, over 80,000 people gathered in Madison Square around the Christmas tree to sing out the old year and sing in the new. World War I changed America's Christmas celebration. Beginning in 1914, and for the next 5 years, the United States was cut off from Germany, the source of so many Christmas tree traditions. Most Americans were upset at the loss of these beautiful glass ornaments, but by 1918, America was producing crude imitations. Many quiet, sober Christmas celebrations were held during the war years. Americans reflected upon the true meaning of the Christmas celebration with so many loved ones away at war. The 1913 Sears, Roebuck and Company catalog advertised the first artificial trees. They came in 4 different sizes with berries and candle holders at the tips and a round base. Turkey and goose feathers were used for the branches, hence the name feather tree. Many Americans distrusted electric lights. Candles were still used to decorate trees. Postcards remained popular until World War I. Blockaded shipping American companies flourished, and when the war ended, the modern greeting card industry was firmly established here. One of the first companies to make high-quality cards was started in 1910 by 18-year-old Joyce C. Hall, founder of Hall Brothers. He started selling picture postcards to stores. In 1915, he published his company's first non-postcard Christmas greeting to be placed in an envelope and mailed. The first national Christmas tree came during Calvin Coolidge's presidency. This 60-foot balsam fir was lit in an impressive ceremony in 1923. Washingtonians gathered at the entrance of the White House to sing Christmas carols. A fanfare of trumpets heralded shepherds as they journeyed to the illuminated cross on the Washington Monument. This photo from the Mystic Seaport collection shows the community tree in 1924. The 1930s are remembered as hard times, the era of the Great Depression. The one day of each year that was an exception was Christmas Day. Americans tried to put these hard times behind them. After the stock market crash of 1929, there was some decline in the sale of ornaments, but the holiday remained as popular as ever. Christmas tree safety became a big issue in the 1930s. The use of candles on trees and in windows was discouraged. The photo is of the 1931 White House Christmas tree during Herbert Hoover's administration.
1939 introduced Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was created by Robert L. May, a copywriter at the Montgomery Ward department store. In 1939, May wrote the Christmas-themed story poem to help bring holiday traffic into his store. The story's message, that given the opportunity, a liability can be turned into an asset, proved popular. Montgomery Ward sold almost 2.5 million copies of the story in 1939. The 1940s brought war, and many of our men were fighting in Europe or in the Pacific. "I'll Be Home for Christmas" was the title of a popular song and a hope in the heart of the many. Our servicemen celebrated the holiday overseas as best they could. This Christmas tree belonged to Seymour serviceman Leroy Hibbard as he served in the Dutch East Indies in 1944. The tree was decorated with servicemen's dog tags and any other items they could find to make shining ornaments. The 1940s were also the golden age of American Christmas music. 3 lasting favorites were penned at that time. White Christmas was written by Jewish Irving Berlin in 1942 for the Bing Crosby movie Holiday Inn. The Christmas song, popularly known as Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, was written by Mel Torme and made famous by the Nat King Cole 1947 recording. Also in that year, the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was written by Johnny Marks, brother-in-law of the man who wrote the story for Montgomery Ward. Gene Autry's recording sold over 2 million copies. Here we see a Christmas tree in the living room at 116 Jefferson Avenue, New London, Connecticut in 1941. The tree appears to sit on a table covered with a cloth. Presents are visible in front of it. To the left is a small desk with a chair. Pictures hanging on the wall overhead. The 1948 photo of Christmas decorations in Seymour shows automobiles and suspended Christmas decorations. Automobiles are driving and parked on Main Street, Stratford. Business signs include Nelson's Grill, Whalen Drugstore Company, Incorporated, and St. John's Drugs. Here is Main Street, Torrington in 1949. Automobiles and trucks are parked and driving by businesses identified by signs. Businesses that appear in the photo include Warner Theater, Michael's Jewelers, Yankee Peddler, and Clearweave. During the 1950s, America enjoyed the world's highest standard of living, and at the same time lived in fear of nuclear annihilation. We were technically at peace, but we were involved in a police action in Korea. By 1954, the National Christmas Tree Ceremony had become the Christmas pageant of peace. Department stores in New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, and other cities commissioned elaborate Christmas window displays. Artificial trees were popular for people with a limited amount of space. The middle of the 50s saw the invention of the aluminum tree. Floodlights, or revolving color wheels, were used to light them because of the danger of putting electric lights on a metal tree. This large group of people gathered in lobby of American Brass Company building in Waterbury for a carol sing.